さて、この度のゲームはどう転ぶのか。委ねるもよし、抗うもよし、いずれにせよわしに残されたわずかの命を賭すに値する実に楽しい宴よ。
In his dimly lit study, occasionally brightened by lightning, Kinzo kept mumbling and laughing to himself. On the antique clock with the intricate design that had been sitting on his desk, the two overlapping hands tilted to the right and began to slide. The measure of time that counted up to 24 had returned to 0 and had begun to count back again.
時の刻みとは残酷なものよ。24を数えるために1日をかけてたどり着き、そして再び0に戻る。23時59分までは確かに数えただろう。しかし24時にたどり着くことはできたのだろうか。たどり着けず再び0時に戻ったと考えれば、それは何とも虚しいことよ。
But perhaps a person's life is the same. You live aiming for a perfect 24, and in the instant you reach it, you return to 0. People will probably praise the departed, saying that he did reach 24, but he most certainly did not. In the end, he's a 0.
わしは違うぞ。わしは生きて24にたどり着く。そここそが黄金鏡。ベアトリーチェの住処なのだから。
Kinzo had been fumbling around with some tarot cards for some time. It looked as though he was trying to divine his own luck with a contest, doing it over every time he didn't like the result. The most forbidden action in tarot reading is trying to predict the same thing twice. To do so ridicules the results of fortune-telling, and also desecrates those beings higher than humans that give revelations through the tarot cards. However, Kinzo knew tarot cards shouldn't be used twice because, since they're nothing more than a random number generator, reading them twice will naturally cause a different result to appear. Therefore, reading them twice was only forbidden to preserve the mystique of the tarot cards as result. However, that didn't mean that Kinzo didn't take tarot reading seriously. Kinzo's interpretation of tarot reading was done in a completely different way. That was to repeat the reading over and over, without giving up in the slightest until he reached the result most favorable to him. The mark he set for this most favorable result would vary, but when he demanded the most favorable result in a strictly literal sense, it was the same as a simple roulette of luck where he sought an arithmetic miracle. However, Kinzo used miracles of numbers as the basis for his magical power, so this functioned perfectly well as a magical ritual. In other words, until the result he desired appeared perfectly, he would strive to repeat the tarot readings over and over with conviction, turning the feelings of his heart into prayers, so that when they reached the heavens, they would be sublimated into results. This was Kinzo's personal magical interpretation. Therefore, even though Kinzo's tarot cards were no different from those generally used, the way in which they were used was completely different. Kinzo stopped his hands for a second. He seemed not to be getting the results he wanted. On the contrary, bad cards that shouldn't show up so often appeared repeatedly, and continued to interfere with the miracle Kinzo wished for. Kinzo seemed to have received some revelation that was different from normal. But, by judging the unlucky cards scattered across his desk, it was difficult to imagine that the omen had been a good one. For a while, Kinzo closed his eyes tightly, pondering something. Then, as the thunder roared, he made up his mind about something, took the telephone receiver, and dialed. front of the entrance hall, Shannon's once burning face had been cooled off by the frigid air. She had thought that George's proposal would surely come sooner or later. It wasn't as though she hadn't prepared herself mentally, and she had answered by nodding. Had she been reckless because of her youth? Should she have thought about her future more seriously? I wonder if my immediate reply made him think I'm a cheap girl. If I'd at least waited until tomorrow morning, would that at least have shown him I was taking this seriously? Now that she'd already received the ring from George, Shannon kept fidgeting in embarrassment. I should have done this, I should have done that. As she did, she heard the sound of footsteps splashing through the puddles. Shannon immediately chased away the emotions welling up inside her.
Genji-sama, Kanon-kun mo. すみません。すぐに戻らなくて、
She grew stiff, thinking she'd surely be scolded for spending too much time in her secret lover's meeting with George.
親方様が至急書斎へ来るようにとの仰せ。急ぐ。
はい、かしこまりました。一体何事なの？
不吉な予感がするってさ。自分の儀式を起こしておいて都合のいい話さ。
大田に気取られぬよう裏から入る。足音に気をつけ。
はい、姉さん注意して。姉さんは賑やかだから。
Kanon was especially good at hiding his footsteps, just like a cat. He was able to suddenly be there without anyone noticing, and leave in the same way. For example, even though he stepped in puddles, the sound he made was far smaller than that of the rain hitting them. Genji also had abilities of that kind. Or rather, those servants called furniture were supposed to be like that. Just like how desks and closets go unnoticed by members of the family, these servants also held it as a great virtue to just suddenly be there whenever they were needed. Compared to that, Shannon's footsteps still strongly asserted themselves. She was also trying to hide her footsteps, but compared to Kanon and Genji, well, you could say she was a little more boisterous. Eventually, they reached the back door, and the three of them entered the mansion. Immediately, they thought they felt something. It was different from a sense of smell, and it seemed to hit the depths of their noses. This hard-to-describe sensation, which you might call a sixth sense, allowed them to perceive that something was different than usual.
Genji-sama.
急ぐぞ。
That sensation made it feel as though a tense something was pressing in around them. Realizing that, the three of them dashed up the stairs, heading for Kinzo's study while still hiding their footsteps. When they dashed up the stairs, that smell of sweet poison particular to Kinzo's studies reached their noses.
いかがなさいましたか、源氏様。
結界が死んでいる。
After hearing Kanon's words, she looked at the door to the study. A scorpion pattern was engraved on the doorknob. A powerful ward against magic. The final barrier which protected Kinzo himself. It had been broken. Of course, there was no change to the doorknob that the eye could see. However, those who could understand things people couldn't perceive were able to recognize that a dramatic change had occurred.
親方様、親方様、源氏でございます。ここをお開けください。
Genji called in this way after knocking several times, but there was no answer from the study.
シャノン、背中を守れ。カノン、室内を探れ。
はい。
Kanon put his ear against the door, searching for a presence inside the study. To protect the backs of the pair watching the door, Shannon faced the other way, ready for the unexpected.
親方様はいらっしゃられるはずですが、静かすぎます。
ご無事だということか。
いえ、静かがすぎます。
まさか、そんな。
親方様、扉を失礼させていただきます。
Genji pulled a gold key out of his pocket. It was the only key to the study that existed other than the one Kinzo held. He stuck it in the keyhole and turned it heavily. At first glance, that seemed to prove that it was a sturdy lock. However, now that the barrier had been destroyed, this door might as well have been left open from the viewpoint of anyone with magical power. The heavy sound just now meant that the door had been opened even for humans.
失礼いたします。
As Genji respectfully bowed his head, and Kanon's sense of tension grew tighter, and Shannon trembled, they entered the study. They immediately discovered Kinzo's figure. He was sitting on the reception sofa so that his back faced them. Genji noticed the person sitting across from him, and again bowed deeply. Kanon also noticed that person, but he didn't bow his head. He stood in front of Shannon and spread out his arms, blocking the way to her. So without even seeing that person's face, Shannon already had a good idea who it was.
お越しでございましたか。
Let me guess, it's Beatrice.
ベアトリーチェ様。
源氏か。なかなかに早いな。やはり家具は主の呼びかけに素早く応える方が良い。こやつとは大違いだ。
ロノエ様もお越しでしたか。
Ah, so he's real. He's a real person. Genji directed his greeting toward the thinned darkness behind and to the right of Beatrice, where there shouldn't have been anything. Even Kanon and Shannon would never have imagined that someone was there. However, the darkness responded immediately and praised Genji's eyesight.
相変わらずさすがです。だいぶの久しぶりになりますね。それにしても老けましたね。それだけの弱いを重ねましたか。
充実した日々を過ごしております。ロノエ様におかれましても、ますます充実されておりますようお見受けいたします。
ええ、おかげさまです。そしてシャノンも久しぶりですね。君は随分と美しくなった。そして随分と強くなったようですね。良いことです。
ありがとうございます。
姉さん、あいつは一体。
カノン君とは会うのは初めてになりますね。私はベアトリーチェ様の家具頭を任されておりますロノ源氏さんの古い馴染みですよ。あなたと同じに私も家具です。使える主は異なりますが。
The tense color didn't disappear from Kanon's face in the slightest. Depending on the master furniture served, they might be kind or brutal or anything else. If this person claimed to be furniture serving the hated Beatrice, then he must be despicable as well.
わらわもすっかり嫌われたものだ。坊主憎ければ今朝までなんとかとはよく言ったものよ。
Beatrice openly sneered at Kanon's hate-filled face. Then Kanon finally realized. Beatrice and Kinzo were having a chess game across the reception table, but Kinzo hadn't even quivered. He was holding his head with both hands, his eyes closed tight, as he contemplated his next move. Or was he in anguish?
親方様。
わらわが金蔵に伝えたのは2つ。良い知らせと悪い知らせだった。良い知らせは、儀式を終えずしてわらわと再会できる幸運を得たこと。悪い知らせは、金蔵が儀式の一番最初の生贄に選ばれてしまったことだ。こればかりはわらわにもどうしようもない。
But how is that gonna happen? How is that gonna be random?
実に気まぐれにルーレットにて決めたのだから。
嘘をつけ。もて遊んで殺しているくせに。
よしてカノン君。
さて金蔵、そろそろ負けを認める気になったのか。 これにてわらわとの長きにわたる勝負は決着だな。
At a glance, it was hard to make out the situation on that chaotic chessboard. However, judging by Kinzo's anguish and Beatrice's malicious confidence, it seemed to be over already.
是非もなし。これもまた一興か。
わらわもだ。そなたとの勝負に決着がつくことは万感の思いあれど、もはや恩衆を超える。楽しかったぞ。退屈しない数十年であった。
Beatrice advanced her queen and made her final move, and that decided it.
チェックメイト。これがわらわからそなたへの手向けだ。心置きなく眠れ。
Kinzo suddenly stood up and laughed like an opera singer facing a full crowd and spreading his arms, as though he had succeeded in a century-long plan. That laugh spat crimson. Crimson flames poured out from inside him, spitting even out of his mouth, ears, and nose, and all at once his body was wrapped in hellfire. Maybe this is bombs in the food? I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but, yeah, that doesn't really... This seems more like in line with how Kinzo's body was in the first episode, where it was all burned up, and we assumed it was because of the incinerator, but it could have been because of this, whatever's going on here. But Kinzo kept laughing. The more he laughed, the more the hellfire spewed from his entire body and began to char him. Those flames became a brilliant light, which dazzlingly shone on the various magical tools throughout the room, making their distorted shadows dance across the walls. Those shadows looked like the dead in hell, watching over Kinzo in ecstasy as he burned. And for one who had made a contract with the witch, it was an extremely fitting end, in accordance with those terms. After laughing and howling in the roaring flames for some time, Kinzo flopped to the ground, as though he was a puppet whose strings had been cut. Those incredible blazing flames disappeared as though he'd been completely burned up, and afterwards nothing remained but a festering and burnt corpse that one could hardly bear to look at. I wonder if the other servants are also going to be sacrifices then. Because they saw this, they can't live to tell the tale.
お前が言うか。ふさわしい死に方だと思っているくせに。
なぜお前が姿を現している？僕たちに何か用だとでも言うのか？
よしてカノン君。ベアトリーチェ様を挑発してはダメ。
すっかり怯えさせてしまいましたね。
わらわはつくづくカノンとは仲良くなれぬようだ。そう嫌いでもないというのにね。
Beatrice grinned. Canon violently averted his gaze, obviously unhappy. His reaction was so different from what he wanted to do that it made the witch and her butler laugh.
カノン、ベアトリーチェ様の御前であるぞ。言葉遣いに気をつけなさい。
ああ、構わぬぞ源氏。好きに言わせてやれ。わらわは寛大である。
何が寛大だ。
わらわは死にゆく者にはいつだって寛大である。
Canon was taken aback by that creepy laughter. Beatrice wasn't here just to take Kinzo's life. The first twilight required 6 sacrifices. Kinzo alone wasn't nearly enough. And they just casually walked in here.
安心せよ、カノン。
But this is only 4. unless we count Beatrice and Runaway as the other two, but I don't know. That would seem really weird. There's not supposed to be more than 18 people here.
そなたらがここに訪れたから生贄に選ばれるのではない。生贄に選ばれているからこそ、ここに呼ばれているんじゃないか。
なんだと。
Their instincts were good enough to spot her meaning instantly. 6 sacrifices were required for the first twilight. After Kinzo, how many more would you need to add up to 6? In this mansion, the number 5 instantly made them think of the number of servants here.
それがお望みですか。
感謝せよ、家具どもよ。そなたたちの苦難の日々は、今宵ようやく終わりを迎えた。
So that means Goda and Kumasawa will be the other two?
それを告げに訪れたわらわに感謝せよ。
かしこまりました。それをお望みでしたら。
源氏様。
Genji had agreed to the witch's heartless announcement with his usual demeanor, without raising an eyebrow.
親方様亡き後は、ベアトリーチェ様が我らの主。その求めに応じるのは、我らの最後の務めだ。社の、かの、今日までよく仕えた。その労苦もこれにて終わりだ。
源氏はさすがですね。同じ家具としてあなたを誇りに思いますよ。
社の異論はないか。
はい。
ジョージ様から指輪を贈られたそうだが、それでもなお未練はないか。
はい。家具の身に過ぎた幸福でした。指輪を頂戴しただけで、私の思いはすでに達せられております。
Shannon couldn't take quite as much a philosophical view as Genji. There probably were regrets left in her heart. She probably wanted to spend a little more warm time with the person she cared for, George. But she realized herself from that. She took a single deep breath, and a blank expression rose to her face.
それでよい。
シャノンがそこまでの落ち着きを得るとは少し驚きでした。
That was released herself from that, not realized. She released herself from that and took a single deep breath, and a blank expression rose to her face.
あなたも家具として達観したようですね。
惚れた男と夜も共にできず、少しは悔し涙をこぼさんのか。退屈な女よ。
ベアトリーチェ様ごときにこの気持ちはわかりません。私たちの命をご所望でしたらどうぞお受け取りください。私たちは慎んでそのお務めを全うします。
それでいい。よくぞ言ったな。
ベアトリーチェ様の苦手なタイプのようで。
最近こやつめはだいぶ達観しよった。どうも前回いじめすぎたようだ。
Okay, so we do know that the Beatrice that's influencing these games does have knowledge of the previous games.
それを言ったらバトラもか。わらわはまだぬるいのか。それとも追い詰め方が下手なのか。いずれにせよ面白みのないやつよ。しかしお前はまだわらわを楽しませてくれそうだよな。カノ
君。
Compared to the two who had taken a far-sighted approach, there was a painful anguish on Kanon's face. Kanon was still far too young to accept his demise after being told of it by a suddenly appearing witch.
カノン、わらわは退屈を何より嫌い。 そしてお前を除く二人が素直に死を受け入れるもので面白くない。だからそなたにはわらわの期待を裏切らないでもらいたいものだ。
僕を慰み者にしようというのか。
Kanon realized that he was being provoked. However, no matter how furiously anger spurred him on, his opponent was a witch. He was furniture. He hadn't had a chance of victory from the beginning. But the witch was expecting that he'd struggle in vain and writhe around, and was even looking forward to it. Just thinking about that was frustrating enough to get his blood boiling. It was disappointing the witch by refusing to resist, like the other two. The only way he could strike back at her.
煉獄の七姉妹が長女ルシファー、いでよ。
傲慢のルシファー、ここに。
She's gonna take Genji, I think. I said I don't see how Genji exhibits pride, but I guess I can kind of see it. He has his own kind of pride, especially the way he reacted to Shannon just now, where he was like, yeah, well put. Like, I feel like he has a servant's pride, and maybe that's the way that he's committed that sin.
カノン。
But the first Twilight, you're not supposed to pierce them, so this will be weird.
家具に魔女と戦えというのも酷な話よ。そなたがいくら怒りに駆られようとも、勝算のない戦いでは希望も持てまい。無論、勝ち目のない戦いでは、わらわも退屈というもの。ならば、家具は家具。家具同士で決着をつけてはどうか。それならば、勝てる希望も持てるであろう。
恐れながらベアトリーチェ様、私がそのような出来損ないの家具に劣るようなことがありましょうか。こんな可愛い子に私が万一にも負けるようなことなど。
我が家具煉獄の七杭を打ち破ってみせよ。見事打ち破ってみせたなら、そうだな。13人の生贄を逃れることのできる5人をそなたに自由に決めさせてやろう。そなたの推薦する5人をわらわは無条件にて黄金鏡に迎え入れる。それならばどうか。
Kanon understood that he was being provoked. However, the witch's offer was very tempting. By this point, Kanon couldn't care less about this evil ceremony the witch and the rest were trying to carry out. On the contrary, it was much more important that he remain alive so that he could be invited to the Golden Land, and have his wish granted by Beatrice there.
そなたは家具は嫌だと泣いたな。そなたの望み、枕を濡らしてまで望んだ人間の体を与えてやろうぞ。どうだ？そうすればジェシカとも結ばれるぞ。おお、ちょうどよい。黄金鏡へ招ける5人にジェシカとそなたを推薦すればよい。自分だけが幸せになることに抵抗があるならば、さらにシャノンとその思い人であるジョージを加えればよい。
No, she said that these people have already been chosen, so I think this is all a lie. She knows that Kanon stands no chance.
義理があるならばさらに源氏も加えればよい。おお、これで5人だ。十分ではないか、カノン。これだけのご褒美があれば、そなたはわらわを退屈させはしないよな。
どうせ戯れよ。耳を貸す必要はない。
僕は嫌だ。姉さんはそれでいいの？
Beatrice couldn't hide her evil smile at those words.
僕は嫌だ。幸せになりたい。家具なんてもう嫌だ。人間になって普通の恋がしたい。僕も姉さんのように海が青いってことを知りたいんだ。
Okay, it seems like most of the backstory or whatever from episode 2 did happen in this one as well. This one seems like a mixture of episode 1 and 2. Which we don't know that that stuff didn't happen in episode 1. In fact, it might have.
若いですね。羨ましい。
だから若者は好きなのだ。ゲンジ、シャノンは下がれ。カノン、ルシファーは前へ。
仰せのままに。気に入らないわ。ベアトリーチェ様は無理でも私にだったら勝てるかもしれないという最高に気に入らないわ。
That was probably humiliating for Lucifer, but at the same time she was also happy that she was lucky enough to have this adorable prey all to herself.
来い、魔女の家具。いつまでも僕を見くびることができると思うな。
さあさバトラー、楽しい見せ物の時間であるぞ。
Yeah, he probably doesn't believe any of it.
くそ、またおかしなことになりやがった。
I have a feeling that he probably did see the stuff in the second episode. He was just completely speechless during it all. He didn't know what to think, so he just kind of didn't say anything about it at all.
魔法バトルなんて認めてたまるかよ。
ほらほら、目をつむらずにちゃんと見ろよ。ほらほらほらほら、魔法だよ、家具だよ。そなたがどんなにわらわや、ほらほらほらほらほらほら、こうして目の前でブオンブオンカキンカキンやられちゃ台無しだよな。ほらほら、もう思考なんて止めちまえよ。魔法はあるんだって、これはファンタジーなんだって。目を閉じるなよ、しっかり見ろよ。ほらほらほらほらほら。
畜生畜生畜生畜生。
I feel like this is the direct approach that Lambda Delta was talking about, maybe.
魔女を認めない、魔法を認めない。くそくそくそくそ。
ほーら、目を背けるなよ、しっかり見ろよ。魔法はあるんだよ、ファンタジーなんだよ。推理ごっことかやめちまえよ。知ってんだよ、ものを考えんの本当は苦手なんだろう。やめちまえやめちまえ。ほらほら、どうせファンタジー、どうせファンタジー。
うるせ、俺に話しかけるんじゃね
え。こいつ意地になっちゃって、私になら勝てるなんて思い上がりをしたことを今すぐ床に這いつくばって謝ってごらんなさい。そうしたら特別に許してあげてもいいわよ。生きながら生皮を剥がして絶命するまで全身を鞭打ってのたうち回らすのを特別に許してあげてもいいわよ。 可愛い子なんだから謝っちゃいなさいよ。そうしたらあなただけは最高に素敵な気分の中で優しく優しく。
黙れ魔女の家具。お前と問答するつもりはない。
私なんか眼中にないというのね。気に入らないわ。イフを本当に気に入らないわ。
カノン君、
あやつ、サタンの時よりも筋がいいではないか。
だから人間は恐ろしいのです。たまに魔女にまでなり、悪魔を羊扱いにしたりいたしますよ。
Interesting. So he called Kanon a human. He's not calling him furniture. So. Hmm.
わらわはどちらを応援すればよいというのか。
こいつ私と互角に渡り合うというの。
僕を見くびるな。お前にそのおごりがある限り僕には決して勝てない。
またこの煉獄の七姉妹が長女ルシファーを指して決して勝てないと。
I guess it's also worth mentioning, against Satan, he had Jessica to protect as well, so he was at a bit of a disadvantage there. It was also right after he had just finished an exhausting battle with that goat man, so... The only thing is, I'm pretty sure that Beatrice said he has to win against the 7 stakes of purgatory. In other words, he has to beat all 7, and I feel like that's gonna be a nasty wake-up call even if he manages to beat Lucifer.
この思い上がりが。
Kanon was desperately trying to stay alive, and he had a strong desire to become human. But Lucifer didn't feel anything stronger than a slight desire to play, so that led to an inevitable result. It was a result that could be reached by the power of humans, the power of the heart.
これまでだ。お前は僕に決して勝てない。
The glowing red curve extended straight out from Kanon's arm, pointing at Lucifer's throat just beneath the tip of her chin.
何よこれ。この私がこんなの。何かの間違いよ。
As she ground her teeth in irritation, she tried to deny the truth right before her eyes. But no matter how much she believed in her own superiority, it didn't change the facts right in front of her.
ほう、やるなあカノン。見事だ。わらわを退屈させなかった。それに比べ、わらわの家具のなんと情けないことか。
ルシファー、お嬢様を退屈させていますよ。やはりあなたには荷が勝ちすぎた相手でしたか。
失望するぞ、七食いの長女。
It would have seemed like a mere rebuke to an outsider. However, Furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was promised by that rebuke, and understood what had been left unsaid.
この出来損ない家具が。
She howled. Abandoning her last bit of pride, she made her body explode, exposing her true form. That form was a demon stake, which bounced off the walls surrounding the room.
よくも私にここまで恥をかかせたな。殺せ殺す殺せ殺せ、このぬるまが。私の姿をもはや追うこともできないくせに。もう遊ばないよ。本気で怒ったわよ。お前の心臓を一撃で貫いてやるよ。ぶっすりざっくり貫いて、真っ赤な血の噴水を天井にまで届かせてやるよ。 死ね
カノン君。
After flying about wildly for some time with a speed approaching the limits of what a human eye could follow, Lucifer flew at Kanon's heart, so she could tell that it was Kanon's blood by the sweet taste of it, but she quickly noticed one thing. She hadn't pierced his heart.
これだから人間は恐ろしい。紅茶はいかがですかな。
今はよい。紅茶もいらぬほどに面白い。
カノン君。
おごったな。だからお前は僕に勝てないんだ。
The floor was stained with dripping blood. It really was Kanon's blood, but it wasn't flowing out of his chest. Kanon had sacrificed his own left hand to protect his heart. Lucifer was arrogant, even though she'd been given enough time to realize that this was an opponent capable of cornering her. In her pride, she had believed him to be worthless. She'd gotten careless. So, just as she had announced, she had aimed for his chest, trying to pierce his heart. Because she was arrogant, she hadn't even thought of aiming for somewhere other than the place she had announced. No, maybe she had thought about it a little. However, her pride would not allow her to aim for a different spot. After all, she was Lucifer of pride. Kanon, withstanding the pain, grasped the demon stake, sticking deep into his left hand, strongly with his right hand, and pulled it out. When she heard the sound of breaking bones and even more blood dripping down, Shannon looked away reflexively. There was an air hole in the back of the pierced hand so big you could clearly see through to the other side. Kanon's face was filled with pain, but right now, he had won without a doubt. The demon stake he was gripping with his right hand turned back into Lucifer again, so the Kanon was now gripping exactly where her neck was. Kanon didn't hold back at all with the hand gripping Lucifer's throat. She had challenged him again after their fight had already been decided. Kanon had no obligation to be considerate. But even so, Kanon released the witch's furniture. Was it his naive humanism, his pity for another furniture, or a final bit of respect to the witch? In any case, when she was released, Lucifer fell face down on the ground, retching and moaning over the pain in her throat.
お見事ですよ、カノン。あなたの奮闘により、金蔵の研究の正しさが一つ実証されました。
Runaway was clapping his hands. To Kanon, who had won at great cost and had a wound on his left hand that wouldn't close, Runaway's applause only felt like mockery.
人の心はあらゆる可能性を秘める。いやはやこれだから人間は恐ろしい。あっぱれであるぞ、カノン。そなたは勝利した。見事だ。
大丈夫、カノン君。
Shannon ran up to him and wrapped a handkerchief around his left hand, which was still spraying blood.
見事であるぞ、カノン。実に見事である。わらわも少しは番狂わせを期待した。それを裏切らぬとは。そなたは誠に素晴らしき家具であるぞ。見直した。正直見直したぞ。
約束をベアトリーチェ。
もちろん忘れてはおらぬぞ。魔女も悪魔も非道ではある。だがしかし契約に限っては人間など及ばぬほどに高潔だ。わらわは保護にはせぬ。そなたが勝利したなら13人の生贄を逃れることができる5人を自由に決める権利を保証した。
リーチェ様、私はまだ破れたわけでは。
When Beatrice waved her pipe, heaven and earth turned over just for Lucifer. So as a horribly natural result, she fell onto the ceiling. The ceiling doesn't seem that high to people standing on the floor. However, people who fall on it upside down and head first usually don't agree.
お嬢様、さすがにやりすぎでは。
それもそうであるな。許してやるか。
Beatrice waved her pipe again. When she did, the magic that had been affecting Lucifer was released. So, as a horribly natural result, this time she fell properly back onto the floor.
Beatrice-sama, お許しを。
何を怯えておるか。わらはもはや許したぞ。さてカノン、続けようではないか。
何をだ。まさか彼女にとどめを刺せとでも言うつもりなのか。
ああ、違う違う。まだ終わっちゃいないだろうが。
何をだ。はぐらかすな。
Yeah, here comes the other 6 stakes, just like I predicted.
わらわは確かにそなたと約束したぞ。わらわの家具、煉獄の七杭を打ち破ったならとな。さあさあおいでなさい、煉獄の七杭。
Oh god, is he gonna have to fight them all at once?
不甲斐なき長女の6人の妹たち。
The air split with shrill laughter, and as a golden splash scattered about, the remaining 6 Sisters of Purgatory showed themselves. All the 7 Sisters of Purgatory were here, after Kanon was able to defeat only one by sacrificing his left arm. By now, Kanon regretted his thoughtlessness in accepting the witch's challenge. He had been foolish to assume that a game against a witch would be on an even footing.
お姉様、どうして床に這いつくばってるの？お前たち。だからお姉様はダメなのよ。長女を偉そうに名乗るくせに上っ面だけなのよ。まったく。ルシファーお姉様一人の集体が私たちへの評価を下げるのよ。恥を知りなさいな、この未熟者が。すごいすごい。でもいい気にならないことよ。ルシファーお姉様なんて威張ってるだけで姉妹の子じゃ大したことないんだから。
だからルシファー姉は何もしなくていいといつも言っている。お姉様は威張ってだけいればいい。荒事は全て優秀な私たちで片付けるのだから。
お姉様、どうする？私たちはお姉様のプライドを尊重して、そのボロボロの体で再び挑むのを期待して手出しをしないつもりなんだけれど。でもカノン君は強いわよね。今のお姉様じゃもうどうあがいても勝ち目はないわよね。
お前たち。
やれやれ、いつも賑やかな姉妹たちであるな。今は仲違いをしている場合か。そなたらは7人揃ってこその煉獄の7姉妹であろうが、仲良くしてわらわの仕事を遂行せよ。迅速に
ねえルシファーお姉様、私たち妹の力が借りたいなら言ってよ。お姉様の口から助けを求める言葉が聞きたいの。
私もこれ以上苦労する気か。
愚かでひ弱で見苦しくて情けないこの長女のルシファーをどうか妹の皆様お助けくださいって。ねえ聞かせてよ。
Which one is this? This is... This one is Leviathan. So she's Envy.
それを聞かせてくれたら助けてあげる。それでいいわよねみんな。
お前たちおのれ。
The 7 sisters of Purgatory unanimously closed in on their worthless sister, abusing her. Even Kanon, who had been fighting for his life until a second ago, couldn't bear to look at it.
私がそのようなことを口にできるものか。
早くせよ。どうせお前一人では拉致があかぬわ。早く7姉妹にてカノンを撃て。
そら、どうしましたかルシファー。お嬢様の命令ですよ。
ひどい。
After grinding her teeth over and over, after hearing her sister's curses, Lucifer trembled all over and answered her sister's request.
愚かでひ弱で見苦しくて
情けない
このトークン。
The girl known as Pride was finally unable to endure the words she was saying, and broke down crying. However, the 6 younger sisters kept giggling cold-heartedly.
ちょっと泣いてごまかさないで。まだいいっつってない。
もう十分だろう。さあ姉妹たち、我らの力を見せてやろう。
Okay, which one is the pigtailed one? Asmodeus. Okay. I'm gonna have a hard time remembering all these, but I do want to learn them. Just like as they become relevant in the story or whatever, as each one has its own little moment. I just kind of want to... That makes it easier to learn their names, internalize their names. Which one is she? She is... Lust. Ah.
私は全部聞かなきゃ満足しないわよ。
ほらほらお姉様、続けてよ。
And this brown-haired one is... Mammon. She's greed. And that makes sense with what she's saying.
もう十分よ。
And this one is... Satan, right. Probably Wrath. Yeah.
さあ、この屈辱は姉妹全員の屈辱。生かして返しはしないわよ。さて、哀れな家具をどのように遊んでやろうかしら。素敵な提案はある？
And I forget what the green one was. I think it was either Leviathan, if we looked it up previously, or it was someone we didn't look up. Yeah, it was Leviathan. Okay. Sorry, just bear with me here while I learn these names. Then you would be... The drill hair would be... Beelzebub. Probably... what would you call that? Gluttony, right?
ベルゼは仲良く7人でカノン君を分けっこしたらいいと思います。
良い提案だな。それでなら姉妹でみんな仲良しだ。
So Belphegor, and then, I already forgot it. We literally just heard it. Beelzebub, yeah.
なら私、頭部ね。
And then she's Mammon, I think.
手足はあんたらにあげるわ。やだやだ、ダメ。
And Leviathan.
私が頭なの。
そんな約束意味があるわけないでしょ。
And then Satan.
早い者勝ちに決まってるわ。
Crap, I forgot her. Oh wait, she's Asmodeus. Yeah.
どんな殺され方がいいか、カノン君の提案があったら教えてね。7姉妹でとびっきりの殺し方をしてあげる。
ここまで恥をかかせたんだもの。八つ咲きでも足りない。百咲きにしてくれる。行くよお前たち。
These 7 of them burst at once. They had no intention of playing or boasting. This time they would genuinely follow their master's order. Take Kanon down, swiftly. The 7 sisters jumped around the room faster than the eye could see, examining how they could best kill Kanon. They tortured Kanon with their cruel giggles, sometimes making a close pass at him. They kept scraping his arms, shoulders, and cheeks, gradually carving red letters into his body. At that moment, Shannon dashed up behind him, holding onto him so that she blocked the way to his body at least a little. At the same time, a red cylinder wrapped around the 2 of them, like a beam of light sent from heaven. That cylinder repelled the evil ones who tormented Kanon.
何？ずるい。あんたは関係ないでしょ。きっとこれはあれよ。私たちと一緒に遊びたいのよ。
なら私がもらうわ。いっただき。ベアトリーチェ様、シャノンを私たちの獲物にしても？
ああ、構わんぞ、好きにしろ。 お前たちの悪時期にはカノン一人では足らなかろうしな。
ありがたき幸せ。さあ、しゃしゃり出てきたことを後悔させてやろう。
どっちがどっちかわからないくらいの肉片にして、混ぜて混ぜてミンチにしてハンバーグにしてあげる。
バカね。それよりあの結界を破る方が先でしょうが。食い意地より先に仕事しなさい。
はい、お姉さん。
As a horribly natural first action, the Seven Sisters began to destroy the barrier Shannon had created. Shannon's barrier certainly was strong. It was powerful enough to impress even Beatrice. With its strength, frail furniture would turn to dust just by touching it, and it was firm like a tree with deep roots. But no matter how big a tree gets, it will eventually surrender to a saw or a hatchet. For the Seven Sisters, chopping down Shannon's barrier would be annoying, but not impossible. A sound like beetles jumping about grew even fiercer and filled the room. The red barrier began to be cut up and eroded away as though with a hatchet, a saw, no, a chainsaw by now.
愚かな。君の結界ではその子たちを防ぎきれないことは知っていたでしょうに。なぜ？
見過ごせないからです。
As Shannon covered Kanon, who was already at his limits, sprawled on the floor, she spoke back resolutely.
しゃしゃりでなければ眠るような死を与えてやったのに、なぜわざわざ七姉妹の前に身をさらすのか。死は同じではないぞ。苛烈な死は死してなお苛むぞ。
どうぞお好きなように。あなたがしたいことを好きにするように、私もしたいことを好きにしたまでです。
どうにもそなたはこのところ面白みに欠けるな。恋というやつは達するかどうかのあたりが一番面白い。達してしまった後の女はさながら産卵を終えた鮭のごとしか。そなたにはもう飽きた。
ありがとう。魔女から聞ける言葉で最も嬉しい言葉です。
ならせめて最後にわらは思いっきり喜ばせる死に方をしてみせろよ。七姉妹よ、聞こえたな。シャノンの殺し方、お前たちの残虐の限りを見せてみよ。
シャノン、
申し訳ございません。やはり私には源氏様の高みには至れませんでした。
姉さんはバカだ。僕なんか放っておけば姉さんまでひどい目に遭うことは。
いいの。ジョージ様に指輪をもらって女として生きられた。あなたをかばって姉として生きられた。私の生はすべてこれで未練なく全うした。
イライラするぜ。その達観が本当にイラつくぜ。だから家具なんだよ。お前からは人間の匂いがしねえんだよ。わらわを見ろよ。わらわこそ人間だろうが。
I thought you were a witch. I thought there were no more than 18 humans on this island.
家具のくせにわらわよりも完成されたかのような、達観したかのようなことを言うんじゃねえ。
醜い。
Huh. There are no more than 18 humans, But if she doesn't count the furniture as humans, maybe that means... Huh. I mean, that's an interesting angle to think about anyway. There may be someone here who doesn't count as human, which would leave room for Beatrice.
その未練があなたの正体なの。
未練、指輪もらったから死んでもいいとか。理解できねえ。さっぱりがっかり愕然呆然、全然ダメだぜ。
Battler's rubbing off on her now.
お嬢様、少し品がないかと。
うるさいわ家具が。シャーノン、楽に死なせてもらえると思うなよ。舌を噛むなら今のうちだ。
哀れね。もしも私の目にあなたのその姿が映って、そのが醜さにおののくといい。
安心しろよ。てめえはそれよりさらにめちゃくちゃぐちゃぐちゃに生きながら醜く潰してやるからよ。
At that time, Genji softly entered the red barrier. Perhaps that barrier didn't block those without ill intent. Then Genji gently held her from behind and covered her eyes with his right hand.
源氏様、
十分だ。先に休みなさい。
はい、ありがとうございます、源氏様。
After that, Genji softly pressed his left hand near her collarbone. As he did, emanating from that area, a crimson stain gently spread out. When Genji removed his hand, bright red, fresh blood oozed out of there. It only happened for the first instant, and it was shaped like a crimson rose. And when he removed his right hand covering her face, there was a peaceful expression there as though she was sleeping. Then she fell softly, silently, and slept. Her soul had already been sent to a world where the malicious witch and her furniture could not reach her, no matter how evilly they tortured her. This scene left Beatrice and the seven sisters stunned. Only Ronoe wore a mysterious smile. Then Genji leaned over Kanon, who was crouching on the floor.
よく頑張った。お前ももう休むといい。
はい。
Just as he had done with Shannon, he softly covered Kanon's eyes with his hand, then gently pressed the area around Kanon's collarbone with his other hand. And when his hand was removed with the lightness of a feather, there was a crimson rose there. But that rose shape quickly turned into the stain of bright red blood pouring out.
何よそれ。
つまらぬやつ。生命の風船は針にてつき、威勢よく割るから面白いのだろうが。
見事です、源氏。それでこそ家具です。
ありがとうございます。それではベアトリーチェ様、ロノウェ様、これをもって私の最後のお務めとし、おいとまをさせていただきます。
わらわの楽しみを勝手に奪いおって。この二人をギッタギタのぐっちゃぐちゃにしたかった分、そなたがそれを変わるのであろうな。
Beatrice faced him with an unsatisfied expression, but Ronoe spoke quietly to Genji with a soothing smile.
ご苦労でした。あなたは私の最高のしもべです。これまでの労をねぎらうに値する 安らかな眠りをあなたへの最後の褒美として取らせましょう。
Interesting that he says that he's his greatest servant and not like Kinza's greatest servant. I don't know. There might not be any meaning to that, but it's something to think about.
おい、勝手な真似を。
When Runaway snapped his fingers, Genji slumped to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. Suddenly, and yet gently, he crumpled, falling into a sleep that no witch could call him back from. It was as filled with kindness as the sleep he had given Shannon and Kanon.
なんだよ、ロノウェイ。
I thought he said that he couldn't do anything that Beatrice didn't want him to.
拍子抜けでつまらぬぞ。
I guess she wanted to kill Genji, so that counts as something that she wanted to do, but it's just he did it in a way she didn't want to do.
お嬢様は偉大なる大魔女ではございませんか。この程度気に留めるほどにもございませんよ。シャノンごときの挑発で頭に血を上らせるなどらしくもない。
What was it that had Beatrice so irritated? Was she still unable to remove the thorn of Shannon's words? Runaway laughed lightly as though lamenting the complexity of humanity in a woman's heart and ordered the seven sisters to go. After all, there were still 2 sacrifices left for the first twilight. The seven sisters disappeared in ecstasy. Goda was doing the nighttime rounds. Rokenjima had always been empty except for the Yoshinomiya family household, so checking that the doors and windows were all closed had no real purpose. However, ever since the time that Natsuhi had condemned such an attitude as being careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of the servants' daily routine. In the first place, Natsuhi had ordered this because of the occasional witch disturbances. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. It had become established as this island's characteristic ghost story. Because of that, it was only natural that some people would claim that, when they thought they were alone in the mansion, they would hear a strange sound or see the shadow of a person. However, when that created a little too much of a disturbance and reached Natsuhi's ears, she made a fuss, thinking that some suspicious person might have been entering and leaving. Apparently she had roused all the servants and had them check throughout the mansion. Because of that panic over the witch had happened before Goda's arrival, or because all of that panic, he had only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories like that could be found in any workplace. Even at the hotels and restaurants Goda had worked at, there had been plenty of them. So when he heard about that story on this island, he'd given a forced smile, thinking, so they have that kind of thing here after all. That forced smile aside, he had to figure that when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and had taken it seriously. Goda went along with it on the outside, but in his heart he'd assumed it to be a childish trick. At first, that is.
これは確かに不気味ですね。なるほど。過去の使用人たちがいろいろと騒ぎたくなる気持ちもわかるものです。
He could understand how someone doing the rounds on an eerie night like this might believe they'd seen a ghost if they saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window that hadn't been closed.
肖像画の魔女をバカにするとたたりがあるか。大怪我をして辞めた使用人もいるらしいし。
They keep bringing that up.
怪我は勘弁だな。
It seems like they were there before Goda, though, so... Because he says it seems as if he didn't witness it himself, so yeah.
俺もこの年だ。二度とこんな厚遇の職場には恵まれねえだろうよ。ああ、彫像画の魔女様、真面目に働きますんで、一つ穏便に頼みます。
Goda prayed to the portrait, his hands together as though he was at a Shinto shrine. At that time, he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen. Was that the sound of something metal falling on the floor? Maybe a mouse or a cockroach had come out and knocked over some of the dishes. No, how could that be? It was usually cleaned thoroughly. Thinking he'd check out what that noise really had been, Goda entered the kitchen. He turned on the kitchen light. When he did, he heard a strange sound. That's the clanking of the steaks. To a cook like Goda, the sound felt like the lid on a pressure cooker or something shaking. Surely there wouldn't be a pot on the burner when no one was in the kitchen. Even if someone was using the gas, walking away from it would be quite dangerous. Just in case, Goda decided to inspect the area around the gas range. When he did, in the corner with the gas range, the pressure cooker really had been set out just as he'd thought, but the flame wasn't on, and yet the lid was clanking. It was something fermenting and leaking gas. How could that be? Then, was there a mouse or something inside? How could there be? Ridiculous. When people were watching, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build, but he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was frightened that there might be something inside, and he couldn't bring himself to check it carelessly. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little forcefully against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clanking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved that it had stopped, but the fact that it had stopped when he'd hit it was even more eerie, and made him even more suspicious about what was inside.
この世に怪奇現象なんて存在しませんとも。そんな魔女も魔法もそんなもの存在するわけがない。すべての現象は科学的に説明できるんです。
Speaking of which, I do have a theory about how the stakes work, but I'll talk about that in a little bit.
お化けも魔女もいてたまるもんですか。
He repeated that many times, trying to build up his own confidence. The gap between what he was saying and what he was doing was quite comical.
何が魔女だ。何が魔法だ。たたりだ。そら。正体を見せてみろ。そら。
He removed the lid of the pressure cooker. And lying exposed there was the sparkling clean silver bottom of the pot. There was absolutely nothing frightening like he'd imagined.
そりゃ当然です。中に何もいるわけがない。
By now, Goda realized that he had been a coward. So, while he still had some doubts as to what had caused the lid to make that sound, he figured it wasn't a big problem and decided not to worry about it too much. Then he took the lid he'd grabbed and softly set it back down where it had been. It's fine, it won't make a sound. Of course it won't. As if witches or magic could exist. Clank. Clank, clank, clank. All of the pots and dishes in the kitchen started clanking at once. It grew even stronger so that finally the lid to one of the pots fell off. And from inside that pot, a slender white arm reached out. Lids fell off the other pots, one after another. And another. And another. When the number of arms grew to 7, a loud, shrill laughter split the air.
れほどの美味しいお料理を作れる人がこんな小物なんて本当にがっかり。
あんたいらないんなら私がもらうわ。いっただき。
ちょっとダメだってば。
私がもらうんだから。
So, I'll talk about it later. We'll get a chance after this. But just pay attention to the sounds you hear when, whenever someone dies from one of those stakes. Because it always sounds like there's like a door opening. Come on, let's search. There's only one more. That old hag. Where is she? She isn't in the mansion. What about the guest house? First one wins. First one wins, right? Come on, search, search. Find her. Find her. Don't be noticed by the relatives in the dining hall, right? And don't get noticed by the kids in the guest house, right? Search in silence, kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first twilight. She isn't in the guest house. But she wasn't in the mansion either, right? Hey, I found her. I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why's she standing around there without an umbrella? She's already given up. All mine. All mine. You blockheads can just sit there and watch. This one's mine. Come on, if we take any longer, we'll be scolded by Beatrice-sama. Let's take care of it all at once. Found her. Surrounded her. Come on, let's get along and do it all at once, okay? Interesting. So she was one of the one-winged ego servants at one point, but I guess she left her job and now she's got less seniority, but she probably still counts as having like powers and stuff.
何よこれ。
やんちゃなお嬢さんたちだこと。あの子のお友達かしら。
何こいつ。ババアのくせに。何かの間違いよ。もう一度。
こいつどうして私たちを防げるの？
どいて。もう一度よ。
何度やっても無駄だ。この個人できる。
私はあの子を待っているのです。どうか呼んできてはくれませんか？
そのようなデッチ暴行、私たちがすると思う？
その必要はない。
ベアトリーチェ様。
私が権限するほどでございます。必ずやお目覚めと思いました。
ロノウェイ、久しぶりですね。本当に久しぶりです。
こいつロノウェ様を呼びつけに。
そしてあなたもお久しぶりですね、ベアトリーチェ。
こいつベアトリーチェ様までも呼びつけに。
よい。 そのお方をどなたと心得るか。
No, I would really like to.
ベアトリーチェとはそもそもそのお方の名。
Interesting, so maybe we were right, and Kumasawa really is Kinzo's original mistress. So I had a theory about that earlier, but that means that Kumasawa would be the blue-haired woman we saw earlier in that flashback.
わらわはそれを受け継いだに過ぎぬ。そのお方こそはわら先代ベアトリーチェ教だ。
先代ベアトリーチェ教。
Gold butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the Garden of Roses and began to gather around Kumasawa. Then, after she was wrapped in a golden sparkle, she burst and disappeared, and Kumasawa's form was no longer there. Huh. But I really have no idea how the mechanics of this work, and how this, like... There's a lot of details to work out here. But at least I was right about one thing. Hopefully, that turns out to actually still be right, and not just, like, a lie later. Instead, there was another Golden Witch, the one who once taught the path of an endless witch to Beatrice, and the only person Beatrice ever called teacher. Her hair was long, beautiful, and vividly youthful, and her figure in that elegant dress couldn't possibly have been mistaken for an old lady. No, this looked like a completely different person from Kumasawa.
これはお師匠様。
ええ、私もですよ。よもまた眠りを妨げられるとは夢にも思いませんでした。
まったく厄介なところでお目覚めになられる。いつもの通りお休みであられたなら、第一の晩を何も手こずることなく終えられるのに。いや、むしろ歓迎すべきですかな。少々退屈しておりましたところで。
相変わらず悪趣味な遊びで罪もない人々をもてあそんでいるようですね。無限の魔女の力は決して人に迷惑をかけることに使ってはならないと何度も教えたはずですよ。
そう言うなよ、お師匠様。それから逃れるためのちょっとしたスパイスに過ぎませんよ。侵食が進めば進むほどにわらわの力は強くなり、わらわの眷属は呼び出しやすくなる。しかしそれは同時にお師匠様の封印を解くことにもつながったとはな。
それを予見していたからこそ、私はこうしてあなたのすぐ近くで眠りについたのですよ。願わくば二度と起こされぬことを夢見ながら。こうしてあなたと再会してしまったのは私にとってはとても悲しいことです。
相変わらずお師匠様は食えないな。
炉の上、家具の子たちを下げなさい。家具は主に仕えるだけです。すべての罪は主が背負います。
かしこまりました、マダム・ベアトリーチェ。
その名はもうその子に譲りました。さあ下がりなさい、家具の娘たち。私は一度聞かぬとしても二度言います。しかし三度目は口にしませんよ。
下がりなさい、煉獄の七姉妹。巻き添いになれば塵と化しますよ。
下がれ、みんな。
Ronaway and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory retreated. After that, what remained was the Beatrice whose daring expression didn't falter, and the teacher Beatrice who had given up that name and wore a composed smile.
さーて、お師匠様、久しぶりの再会にはどんなお茶のご用意が良いかな。
そうですね。ほうき星の訪れよりも久しい再会です。もてなしてもらいましょうか。粗相があるようならば我が返してもらいますよ。
無限の魔女にも免許更新制度があったとはな。仰せのままに、お師匠様。あなたの弟子がどれほど立派になったか、そしてとっくの昔にどれほどあなたを凌駕したか、とくとご覧に入れましょう。
The air between the two Beatrices seemed to explode with sparks. Just by glaring at each other, they purged all spirits from that space. And as they watched, the seven sisters shivered. After all, if they had retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would already have been turned to dust by now.
さあ、いらっしゃい。ベアトリーチェ。あなたにその名を譲ったことが私の生涯でただ一度の後悔です。その過ちを今自らの手で修正しましょう。
そりゃあ違うぜ、お師匠様。わらわのただ一度の過ちはこの程度の力を学ぶのにあんたに弟子入りしちまったことだぜ。何が無限の魔女だ。こんなの気づくだけの力じゃねえかよ。それをもったいぶって偉そうによ。お前の出番はとっくに終わってんだよ、お師匠様よ。
Yeah, you and me both, but I'm just kind of rolling with it for now.
一体目の前で何が起こってんだ。
かわいそう。私の弟子が迷惑をかけていますね。謝ります。
あんた何者なんだ。熊沢のばあちゃんだ。どうしてこんな姉ちゃんに化けるんだ。つうかあんた誰だよ。わけがわからねえ。これは何の盗撮なんだ。俺は頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだ。
私はあの子の魔女の師匠です。かつての名はベアトリーチェ。あの子が私を継ぐときにその名を送ったため今は名を持ちません。
あんたがすでに言い切っちまってるが、俺はあんたの弟子のせいで大いに迷惑しているぜ。頼むから責任取って何とかしてくれ。じゃなくて俺はこんなの魔女も魔法もあるもんか。こんなめちゃくちゃバトル俺は認めねえぞ。くそったれ。俺は何を信じりゃいいんだ。
あなたらしいとても短気なもてなしですね。
さすがお師匠様。この程度じゃ バカバカしくてまぶたを開く気にもならないらしい。島ごとぶっ壊す気でなきゃ無理らしいぜ。さあさあおいでなさい、双剣の戦闘。
Okay, that's the first time I've seen that. In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden. And on either side of her shoulders, two massive war towers sprouted and stabbed into the heavens. They stretched up to 100 merut tall, and each had over 360 ports. I'm not sure what a merut is. They were war towers of the gods' army corps, which had prevented even groups of ancient heroes from invading their sacred grounds. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the massive two-headed towers, she looked down on her teacher, sneering with a sense of absolute superiority. With the two massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, the witch looked very small, like a butterfly dancing between huge trees.
蝶に化ければ買わせるとか思うなよ。双子島の弾幕密度じゃあんた、虫ピンの昆虫標本どころかめった刺しの針刺し人形だぜ。
Over 720 ports opened on the towers, and godly soldiers readied their multi-shot ballistas.
それであなたの手番は終了ですか。それが遺言かよ。ぶっ放せ。
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing at this point just how a fighting game of this series could work. Because I was kind of baffled as to how that would even be possible, but like with all these special moves and stuff, like I could totally see that. Like I could see this being like one of Beatrice's specials or something. The ballista shots that numbered over 1,000 were all fired at once, drawing a beautiful geometric curtain of death. The boorish sound as the bowstrings were played was probably even deeper than that of a reaper swinging his sickle.
さあさあおいでなさい、墜落せし塔よ。一なる言語をはぜ、その罪を知らしめよ。
The sky was stained in an incandescent red, and from between the clouds a blazing massive tower fell upside down. That massive falling tower and its rubble sucked in the thousands of ballista shots, so that not one of them approached the body of the witch who had summoned it. That's right, no group of people, no matter how large, could approach the mysteries of heaven. That was the reality of the fallen tower.
いちいちやることがでけえや。私の手番は終わりませんよ。さあさあおいでなさい、イバルディの息子たち。我にふさわしき槍を与えたまえ。
As the massive crimson tower that had fallen made a terrible gold-colored explosion, a massive spear appeared from inside those flames. So tall like a tower, you'd have to look up to see all of it. It was too large even for a giant's hand. That divinely beautiful spear of the gods was so massive it gave the illusion that the fallen tower had turned into a spear of the same size. It was a spear of certain victory that none could escape.
無用の双子塔ですね。自ら左右の退路を断つとは愚かしい。一本の槍をもお前は防げない。
When she snapped her fingers in command, the massive tower-sized spears shot at Beatrice like a lightning bolt. It aimed right for the middle of the center of the Golden Witch's heart with extreme precision. As she danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, slicing straight through the air like a flash of lightning.
壊 こんなところでグングニルが弾けるとは。やっぱりお師匠様はすげえな。はぜろ役立たずの塔、いでよ巨人兵の殲滅よ。その盾と胸で神なる槍を防ぎきれ。
The shoulder war towers exploded in gold. They became several billion gold butterflies. Those butterflies took the shape of 7 massive armored soldiers. Each stretched a full 50 merut into the sky, and they lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master and holding massive shields that towered like windmills. They were as massive as a mountain range, which behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, when the massive shields these giants held had been readied by the whole regiment, they protected King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows, but from the wind and the rain. For when they had faced upwards and held their shield to the heavens, not a single raindrop had gotten through.
愚かな神聖への敬いを忘れた魔女の哀れなことです。神の槍を巨人ごときで防げるとお思いですか。
道理ですね。人間の金属でいくら武装しようとも神の槍は防げません。マダムの見事なエポレットメイトです。
そんなベアトリーチェ様。
もちろん忘れませんともお師匠様。さあさあおいでなさい、ヘパイストスと弟子たち。我にふさわしき盾を与えたまえ。
A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of the giant soldiers. It was a cloud of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like gold leaf, sparkling like they were a gold mirror. It was the absolute defensive wall given to a goddess by the chief of the gods, the Aegis shield. When the holy spear, which left a dignified tail behind it like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of that gold shield, there was a terrible thunderous roar. It was the creaking of the pillars that held up the heavens. The divine spears spun around and around and was sent flying in the direction of the setting sun.
真相を防いだ。
いいえ、違います。神なる槍が避けたのです。それはつまり防いだのと同じことですよね。
このような荒事ばかり腕を上げましたね。むしろお師匠様はこういうお遊びが相変わらず苦手なようで。わらわからのお返しだ。法典にのっとり、槍には槍でお返ししましょうぜ。
The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, released its holy gold shields. The shields fell to the earth, making the ground shake. When they did, another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed their form into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. At once, each of the giants lifted one of their legs high and firmly stomped on the tips of the handles. As the earth shook with a thunderous sound, the 7 lightning spears beautifully spun and flew up above the giant soldiers' heads. They scattered into a golden splash and began to fall before the giants. Each of the giants squared off, and with the force of their whole body, they kicked and smashed them. The broken pieces numbered exactly 30 and became lightning spears of exactly the same size as the originals, which made 210 for the 7 giants, and all of those burst at once, with each splitting off into 30 thorns for a total of 6,300. They became a barrage of thunderclouds, drawing a beautiful geometric pattern, and then each changed into 3 bolts of lightning so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice. That bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts must have reduced the teacher's body to dust, but there had been no resistance. Beatrice knew immediately that she had been fooled. At that time, from the direction that the sun had supposedly set, she felt the impossible rays of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. It was the figure of her teacher holding aloft the spear of the gods that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago. She bore a sparkle like the sun on her back and made it shine on the incarnation of darkness. As Beatrice watched, she was trapped like a mouse in a cage, cornered in a dead end formed by the giant soldier battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a position directly alongside that line.
これでお勇気の時間はおしまいですよ、ベアトリーチェ。側面を許しただと。
Her bold expression hadn't faltered even once, but now it twisted for the first time. And faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor Beatrice released the holy spear. As it leapt through the air, it changed its form once more.
さあさあおいでなさい、ドベルグの兄弟たち。我に巨人を砕きし天の鉄槌を与えたまえ。巨人兵ども、我らを守れ。何をしているか、ノロマども。
By now, it was no longer a spear, but the whirlwind of a massive hammer that raised a sound like a windstorm as it flew through the air. It was the legendary hammer that had shaken even the king of the frost giants, so the giant soldiers couldn't escape from that fear. So regardless of how strongly their master ordered them, they couldn't get in the path of that hammer.
バッ、安らかに眠りなさい。しょー。
Before the whirlwind of that massive chunk of metal, Beatrice was nothing more than a mere speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck Beatrice in, she appeared to change into a massive war tower. The iron hammer smashed the war tower, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but it did not reach she who had escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the war tower had sucked in the massive iron hammer without crumbling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower, protecting the witch. However, this war tower was actually the witch's last trump card. It was a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But this tower was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. At that time, the moon disappeared. As Beatrice hid in the shadows of the giant soldier battle line and the war tower, she looked up at the sky. When she did, inside the moon was a figure of a massive horse ridden by the god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rode the horse with him. His cloak had blocked the moon and swallowed it in eerie shadow, and the spear of the gods was in his hands once more. In other words, it was a godly knight who had jumped over the ramparts formed by these giant soldiers in the war tower, attacking from the heavens.
ベアトリーチェ。
The struggle to the death between the two witches with the same name was over. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line and the war tower split up into countless gold butterflies, wrapping the area in a gold-colored storm. Then came the sound of thunder, the sound of the falling rain and wind. If you looked around, the rose garden was empty. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronting each other, but Beatrice alone had changed. She had been pierced straight through by the spear from the base of her neck and her right shoulder to her left buttocks, unable to even reach the ground with her feet, horribly exposed like a pitiful pinned butterfly tormented by the wind and rain.
ベアトリーチェ様。
さすが恐ろしいお方です。
これで決着です、ベアトリーチェ。
Her blood is red. I think that confirms that she's human. Well, probably not, but I mean, there was a question earlier of like, is her blood red? Does she actually bleed red? And turns out she does. Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strand of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look even more pitiful.
そしてベアトリーチェの名を今こそ返してもらいましょう。無限の魔女を語るにはお前は未熟が過ぎます。
やめて、許しておくれよ。もしちょっとふざけただけじゃねえかよ。
あなたから我が名を奪います。元の姿に戻してあげましょう。過ぎたる力を手放し、己にふさわしい生を全うするがよいでしょう。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
The predecessor Beatrice began to recite the words of power. When she did, small gold butterflies gathered near the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. Like butterflies sucking the nectar out of flowers, they began to suck the magical power out of Beatrice. And it seemed to cause her intense pain. A cry of anguish issued from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had any power to resist it.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。さあ、ベアトリーチェ、あなたも私と一緒に復唱なさい。一緒にお歌を歌いましょう。そうすればすぐに終わりますよ。あなたの苦痛が少しでも早く終わります。
そうだな、お師匠様とどれくらいぶりかな。
さあ、一緒に。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。
When the two of them began to recite the same song, more and more gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice.
大丈夫ですよ、お嬢様。あなたは私の弟子であることを失いますが、私の仕えるお嬢様であることに変わりはありません。そうしたらまた一緒にご本を読んで差し上げましょう。リンゴのパイを焼いて差し上げましょう。昔のように。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。
思い出してごらんなさい。そろそろ思い出せてきたかな。なあ、お師匠様、あんたの牛思い出したかな。
何ですか？これは。
When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was an eerie hedgehog curled up there. No, it was herself. There was another predecessor Beatrice whose whole body had been packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。違うか。さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。
The predecessor Beatrice was stunned. Her form gradually began to fade away.
これはいつの間に。
最初に呼んだのは双剣の塔ではない。四つ子の塔だったのよ。お師匠様の左右はるかに潜んだ隠し塔が描くセブンスランクルークの死の境界線をお師匠様はのこのこと踏み越えてきてくれた。チェックの発生が遅れてしまったことだけはマナー違反。率直に謝ろうぞ。
The battle had been decided at the very beginning. It had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her shoulder towers. The hidden towers lurking on either side had bathed her in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted it to be resolved like that. She had wanted to let her teacher take the next move, and had continued acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with the endless power, and had made her continue the game as though nothing had happened. Then the predecessor slowly remembered that she had already been killed and began to vanish completely. When she did, the spear that had pierced Beatrice also vanished. Beatrice finally landed on the ground. There wasn't even a trace of a scar.
楽しかったぞ、お師匠様。それで適当に遊んだら死体だったことをまた思い出させてやるからさ。なあ、ちゃんとあんたの言いつけは守ってるぜ。おもちゃは遊び終わったらちゃんとおもちゃ箱にしまいましょうってな。
楽勝でございますが。
愚かに四つ子島で騙せてなかったら死んでおったのはわらわの方よ。さすがはお師匠様だが、これで胸が張れるというもの。わらわは今こそお師匠様を完全に超えたとな。ロノウェ、お師匠様の亡骸をもう少しマシにしておけ。
Her powers are really interesting because it's like you can win a fight and then like bring them back and just see how the fight would have gone if you hadn't won. Like just see, like gauge someone's power. Like, how would that have gone differently if I'd done this, or how would that have gone if I'd done this? And in a way, that's like having that power would eventually make you really, really good at fighting because you could basically like visualize any scenario perfectly just by having it play out.
わらわもそこまで敬意を失ってはおらぬでな。
かしこまりました。今宵の第一の晩は少々派手に暴れすぎました。
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to be going on the rest of this episode. Like, all of this was like a huge curveball. Like, this is supposed to be like the most straightforward approach, or like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to buy here and what not to.
少しは片付けも必要でしょう。すぐに取り掛かります。ヤギたちよ、お片付けの時間ですよ。
When Runaway snapped his fingers, blazing, sparkling eyes began to blink open in the shadows and darkness, becoming goat-headed attendants that appeared one after another. One by one, they wordlessly stood at attention in a line behind Runaway's back.
この度は6人の遺体をどのようにいたしますか？また密室形式に。
わらわはいい。それを考える気分。ロノウェに任す。バトラーを悩ませるようなとびっきりの密室を頼むぞ。
かしこまりました。それではとびきりの。
それ、バトラはどこだ？バトラー！わらわの大活躍見た
？Yeah, I mean, I'm still going with like everything after the first game could still be like a big hallucination. Like this could all just be fake. But we still have to explain some things in the first game in order for that to work.
くしょー、今のめちゃくちゃな魔法の嵐を見せつけられて、俺は何を否定すればいいんだ。魔女はいるも何も、あんなドッカンドッカン凄まじいファンタジーを見せつけられて、もうわかんねえ。前回もそうだが、このイーカス的なマジカルバトルをどう否定すりゃいいんだよ。
だよな。
I mean, this is kind of I feel like this is the effective approach that Lambda Delta was talking about, that just going for the cornering of the pieces or whatever, the like most effective move would just be to show Battler, look at all the magic that's happening right now. But because like I feel like that's kind of what we've been doing so far, but we haven't really done it as directly as this. So maybe that's what she meant by that.
こんなの見ちまったらもう言い逃れはできねえもんな。さあバトラー、とんでも推理を聞かせてくれよ。
お嬢様、笑いに品がございません。
おお、これはすまぬ。しかしわらわの責任ではないぞ。何しろバトラにキューッと両目を固く閉じてキリキリギリギリ歯ぎしりするなんとも悔しそうなその表情を見せられると、自然とわらわの口からこぼれてしまうものでな。
さあバトラ様、くじけずにテーブルへお戻りを。お嬢様はバトラ様の反撃を期待されておりますよ。
ふざけるな。
We really just have to ignore all this for now. We can, like, I don't know. We really, like, this is not a winnable situation unless we actually just ignore all this and pretend it's all fake for now, and come up with alternate ways that the effects could have come about of what happened here.
何をどう反論すりゃいいってんだ。まずあの塔が地面から生えてきたあたりからもうめちゃくちゃだろうが。実は六軒島の地下に合体変形巨大ロボの秘密研究所でもあって、ボタン一つでおかしな塔が生えてくるってのか。ああ、それならあのでけえ巨人どもはきっとロボットだぜ。あるいは悪の秘密結社のメカ怪獣かもな。
I mean, at that point, you're just, you're just shifting from fantasy to sci-fi. Like, it's not much better, especially in the 80s when technology wasn't that good.
俺に話しかけるんじゃね
え。ほらほらほらほら、泣くなよ。魔法でドッカンドッカン。そなたが望むなら月だって砕くし、彗星を雨のようにだって降らすさ。
Where's Burn Castle when you need her anyway? Isn't she supposed to be on our side? We could really use her help right now.
お前好みのムチムチ姉ちゃんで島を埋め尽くしてやってもいいんだぜ。さあさあ、ほらほらほら、わらわの手番は終わったぜ。受け手をさせよ、反撃しろよ。できねえだろ。できねえのは船長も承知よ。お前こういうのダメだもんな。こういうファンタジー本当は大好きなんだもんな。知ってんだよ。今時こんなの巷にいくらでも溢れてるじゃねえか。漫画に小説、アニメに映画。10代くらいのガキンチョたちがおかしな特殊能力いっぱい持ってて世界の命運かけてドッカンバッカンやるやつ。お前も大好きだもんな。知ってんだよ。隠すのよ。大好きじゃねえかよ。そのお前の大好きなやつがちょいと目の前で披露されただけじゃねえかよ。どうして漫画やアニメのそれは信じてくれるのにわらわのだけ信じてくれねえんだよ。
Well, I don't think he believes manga and anime are real.
信じろよ、信じろよ、信じちまえよ。反論なんかできねえさ。こうして見せられちまったんだからな。ほらほらほらほら、返事をしろよ。思考はいらねえ。素直にごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言やいいんだよ。ほらほら言ってみろ。ごめんなさいベアトリーチェ様って言ってみろよ。言えよ言えよ、恥ずかしがるなよ。
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely lost here. There is no way to explain any of that. You just have to disregard it all. There's zero way to explain any of that. So, yeah, yeah, we just have to pretend none of that happened if we want to explain any of this rationally. I mean, I do have a vague theory of like how this world kind of works, but it's so vague that I can't really put it into words. But it involves like believing that magic exists causes like another world to form where magic really does exist. But as long as like people don't believe that it exists, then we're in the real world. And those two worlds are like kind of coincided, like side by side, commingling with each other and dancing back and forth based on what people think. But really, I have no idea. It's so hard to guess that. Well then, I think we're gonna call it there, after quite a long episode. Okay, so let's end it there, and that'll be it. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.